Hello and welcome to the Scoutcast ahead of Gameweek 21. After rotation hit Gameweek 20, we will be hoping for better luck this time around. My name is Joe.
My name is Andy.
Welcome, Andy, as we look ahead to the weekend's matches and beyond. Rotation has also hit the Scoutcast team. Just two of us. We're down to 2 men. I was almost down to 10 men for my team the other day, but I had 11. Fat lot of good it did. But Andy, what's coming up on the show?
Yeah, so as you said, rotation in Game Week 20. So we're going to take a look to see if there's going to be more in Game Week 21. Slightly longer turnaround, but still pretty short considering the amount of games there's been. Then we're going to look at the next mini season. So Game Week 22 for 4 games after that, just to see if there's any certain players we should be targeting there or teams. And obviously, the big news that's been announced since the last Scoutcast is there's going to be a double game week in Game Week 24. Liverpool and West Ham players who are on our radar. Obviously, Liverpool definitely certainly want to get their players in. West Ham, maybe a bit more of a discussion there. And then all the usual stuff. Ruffle just move differentials and clean sheets, all that good stuff.
Yes, indeed. Well, let's have a look at Game Week 20. And I've done it a bit differently this time around because we're talking about mini seasons and something I talked about before Christmas. And I always think of this festive time as Game Week 18 to 21. So we're 3/4 of the way through this. So I want to look at our festive mini season so far. Don't worry, we're not going to bore everyone with every detail of what we did, but just a rough guide to the results, really. So I always think that 50 points a week on average is a good Christmas. So I think if you're getting 200 points over this 4 game weeks, I think you haven't had a bad Christmas. Anything over it is a sliding scale of goodness. But if you've got less than that 200, I would think that that's not such a good Christmas so far. So we're going to find out sort of the aim really for Game Week 21. You go first this time around. You got 59 points in Game Week 20. So how's Christmas been going so far points wise? And how much do you need to avoid a so-called bad Christmas?
Yeah, I think only 54. I mean, it's just been rubbish, to be honest. It's just red arrow. I've gone from, when are we saying, Game Week 18? So I've gone from 448k in Game Week 17 to nearly 600k over Christmas. So it's been pretty rubbish. Kind of without going into too much detail, because I've spoken about this a lot, but transferring out Trent Alexander-Arnold for 8 points to get Son, who got a red card, and Aurier, who just scored an own goal, will probably be the worst point of this season, I would say. I don't think I can make a worse transfer than that. And the problem is I thought I could get away with not owning him over these game weeks, and now I need to get him straight back because he's just insane. And
it was a record breaker. It was the highest game week score of a defender ever in FPL.
Yeah, and funnily enough, that was the last game on Boxing Day, and by that point I'd already watched 3 games. I didn't even really want to watch it, but there's nothing else on.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe what I was watching. Even before the first goal, I thought I need to get him back. It's so horrible watching these games without him. And he puts in that great cross, then 2 more assists, and I was like, "What is going on?" And then he scores. I was literally just, "What the hell am I watching here?"
It's like what you remember the England game against Greece with Beckham, where Beckham was just turned into like Superman. It was like that. Alexander-Arnold was just like, "What the hell is going on here?" He's literally...
I kept thinking at any point are Leicester going to try and defend against him, but I guess once you try and defend against him, you've got another problem on the pitch to worry about with Liverpool. So that was horrible. But this game week, 59 points I thought it was pretty decent. But I still got a red arrow, even at 580k, 12k red arrow. But Rashford captain, the way that happened was really nice. The slide tackle to score a goal, which you really tried to not score. Danny Ings delivered again, and I had Mane and De Bruyne. But like I said, the Aurier own goal he's been a really rubbish signing.
Yeah.
Obviously, own goals unfortunate, but no clean sheets either. So, overall, I thought it was an okay week given how things went with rotation stuff, but still a red arrow. How about yourself?
Yeah, well, better. not so good this game week around. But I got 51 points in game week 20, but I did 81 points the game week before, so a little bit better. So here's my team.
That was nice.
Yeah, so that was nice. So basically, I've got game week 18 to 20. I've got 186 points. 14 needed for me to avoid a bad Christmas. So unless I have an absolute stinker in game week 21, which could happen, I should be on course for my 200 points target for this Christmas period. I'm around the 50k mark at the moment. I've been sort of hovering between 50k 100k all this time, and I can't really kind of move away from that really. I just don't know. It's difficult to know what to do at this time. One of the things I'm looking at. Oh, are we still there? Are we still? I just want to check.
Yeah,
we're
still
yeah,
there.
yeah. Just want to check we're still. Yeah, good stuff. One of the things I want to do is have 2 good game weeks in a row. I can have a good game week, but I can't have 2 game weeks in a row. So not only have I got this target of 200 points over Christmas, I've got a target of actually I just want to have 2 game weeks in a row, because then you can start moving.
I know what you mean.
And you can be in a different world then, because sort of your world in the rankings where you are, you want to get out of it and you want to be in another bit. And also the players that those teams around you have. So for example, Aubameyang's goal. Pretty much nullified. Almost no one around me in the rankings has Aubameyang. But if you move up a little bit and you start moving into the realms of some ghost teams, if you're around the 1 million mark, for example, some people are around 1.5 million, there's going to be quite a few Aubameyangs in there, and so that's going to affect your ranking as well. So it's just sizing that up really. But yeah, I want to move on. I want to push on really. Looking at other people's teams as well. So looking at some roughs here. Down to Ongo here, down to 10 men. He had Aurier, Maddison and Jimenez, who didn't start. But sort of came on for bits, and no, Aurier started, but he wished he hadn't. But he also had Chilwell, Lundstrom and Greenwood. So I think just what that does is indicating really just how bad, just how bad this rotation can be for some people. Gary and Jamie, there's one person by the way, Gary and Jamie, down to 9 men. He transferred in Webster as well, but there were some smooths, so we can get some smooths going. Text FPL Dilemma's dad. Okay, so FPL Dilemma's dad. So do it that way. So not FPL Dilemma. His dad, Captain Wan-Bissaka, who didn't show up for United's clean sheet, but vice captained KDB and ended.
Come on, Captain and Wan-Bissaka getting away. Although they did get a clean sheet, I suppose, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and then ended up with 73. So nice one, FPL Dilemma's dad. GHB, Kelly and Grealish out for Alexander-Arnold and Moy. 19 points better off.
Moy, that is proper smooth.
See, I got Moy in a couple of years ago. You always remember when you get Aaron Moy in, because he doesn't score very often. But if you get him in and he scores, it's FPL don't get better than that. Especially since he plays my team now. And Quentin Fortune, he joined me in getting Foster in. So I did make one move in Game Week 20, and that was getting Foster in. So very pleased with that. Let's move on to discussions. We've got players, teams, talking point, all from the community. This is the players. It's players this time around. Yeah, Andy, what players are we discussing?
Yeah, we're basically going to list every single player that's going to not get rotated in Game Week 2. We're going to, easy as that. We're going to discuss rotation. Obviously, Sir Brendan Rodgers thought, sod it, I'll rotate every single player I have. And obviously we saw Jimenez, Traore get rotated as well in Game Week 20. So there was some big names that didn't make it. So we're going to try and figure out if there's any clues and stuff where players may or may not be rotated in Game Week 21. So a few questions, Zoomers, Bloomers, any chance of just a section on this? Who might be rested? Has Game Week 20 given us any clues? Ian, who are the big rotation risks? And is Vardy the safest captaincy option? So it might be a good segue into captaincy there. That's it really. So what do you think? Is any kind of big clues you've kind of noticed? Any big players that you think are definitely going to miss out?
There are big clues. I like this. Game Week 21 gives us big clues. Game Week 20 didn't give us big clues. But Game Week 21 does, because the last game week, loss of rotation. Lovely stuff there. So we know that there was a whole bunch of players who aren't out of favour, the likes of Jimenez, Traore, Doherty. These are Wolves staple players. They were given essentially the start off, the day off. They did come on for some minutes, some of them. Same with Leicester players. Now with Jamie Vardy it's a bit different because it was sort of enforced because his wife was giving birth. So there's a slight change there, but Maddison getting benched as well, and other Leicester players, seaon due. So we know that they've had their rest, so they're hugely likely to play the next one. This is great stuff. There's some other players we should be worried about though, those that have played I guess what we call them, the 270-minute guys. These are playing 90, 90 and 90. So looking around. So Wolves, Traore, Jimenez, Doherty mentioned, all likely starters against Watford. But Watford looking slightly better at the moment. So I'm not sure we're going to get mega hauls from them as we would have done against Watford maybe 10 weeks ago. But a bit different. Leicester, Maddison should start. Vardy, depending on this is how well we think that a millionaire footballer can juggle a new baby and a football. So will he be tired, as us normal parents were and are, or will he be locked away in an ivory castle while his wife does those duties? I don't know. I can just envision Jamie Vardy doing that rocking baby celebration when he scores.
Everyone's picturing that.
Yeah,
Everyone I've heard mention it.
I can picture it so much that I'm just going to reveal now I'm going to captain him because I'm convinced he's going to start. I'm convinced when he's got his mind to something like this, like proving people wrong about his wife and Murder, She Wrote style plotline. I just think it's that time. But just a final point about some of the other players. So what I've done is I've had a look at this 270-minute club. They played 90 for the last 3 matches. So some notable names there. And lots of them are talisman as well. So it may be that they're just never ever going to be rested. Right. Ali, Aurier, Kane. I cannot see Kane being rested. Aurier and Ali are important, but they could be rested. Calvert-Lewin, he's looking important, but he could be rested. Deulofeu, Grealish, these are really vital players to their teams, but they played so many minutes. Could this be the time they're rested? Kelly and Zaha as well for Palace. Pookie, another one. But near to that, around the 260 mark, you've got Willian, Sterling, Abraham, all at risk, I think. So they've only just missed a few minutes. And then there's this lot, KDB, Rashford and Martial. They played around 240 minutes, 245 minutes. So they've at least come off. There's been an element of rest there. And so I don't know. I don't know whether they're going to get arrested for this one. I hope not. But they're the sort of players I'm looking at. How about you? Who are you looking at and thinking, they're not going to play, or, they're definitely going to play?
Yeah, I've kind of looked at mostly the same players. I think one thing about it's not just the thing with captaincy in particular. It's not even just that Vardy got arrested. It's that everyone got arrested in that team. So they're going to be way fresher than Newcastle, you'd imagine. So it's very hard to not put it on Vardy. In terms of the other players, I just think the way Mourinho sets up with he has his first 11 that he likes. I just think Aurier and Ali are going to play again. There's a slightly longer turnaround, and you've got the FA Cup break as well, which not necessarily all the players are going to play in. I've actually got Ali. I'm probably going to sell him this week, but it's not because I think he's going to get. It's not because I think he's going to get rotated. I think he'll play. And the thing with De Bruyne as well, he did get slight minutes managed in the game before. Yeah. And City played Port Vale in the FA Cup. I mean, that seems like a game they could probably win without De Bruyne. So I think he's going to get his rest then. Yeah. And they need the wins in the league, right? They have to. They're so far behind Liverpool, they've just got to go for it. So I think he's going to play. And maybe I'm being a bit hopeful, but I think the same for Rashford and Martial because they got their rest against Newcastle. Probably wasn't like a huge... I mean, obviously it's a quick turnaround, but it's not like they were doing a huge amount of running against Burnley. So I think it's Arsenal as well. So there's just no way they're going to get rested for that game. So I'm actually pretty hopeful. Abraham I'd be a little bit worried about. But it is Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. So again, that could be where they rest in. They play back Shuayi or Giroud. But Abraham I'd be a little bit worried about. And I do think one of Trent Alexander-Arnold or Robertson will get rotated. And then I think, or rested, not rotated. And then I think the other one may get the rest in the FA Cup because that's Everton. I'm just, they've got the League and Champions League to be worrying about. I'm not sure Klopp's going to play that full strength. And he's already, against Everton, played a weaker team in the league and won quite easily. Now, Ancelotti wasn't in charge at that point, so it's a bit different, I suppose. But, yeah, I think one of those two will get rested. Which one? I have no idea. But it would just seem like something that could be done. I don't think they're both going to get rotated in the same game. They're just too important to how Liverpool play. But yeah, that worries me, and I'm thinking about bringing Trent in this week, so that is on my mind a bit. I think one of those.
I think it's one of those things you just got to do it, haven't you? Because he's just a good player that you're going to want long term.
Exactly.
If you miss out.
Yeah, and then the only one I've noted down, and it's because I own him, is Danny Ings. And again, he had his rest. It was literally Hasenhüttl made the point that he couldn't play all 3 games, came right out and said it, had his rest, and then Spurs, extra day rest versus the last game week. I think he'll play again. So I'm not too concerned. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I do think, like I said, Trent and Robertson, 1 rest each, and I think Rashford and Martial absolutely fine.
I don't think, that list of that 270-minute club, and he's not in it. He's just nowhere near it, Ings. I would say Ings is going to play. He's had his rest. And this is great. This is great news for owners of those types of players. I know what you mean about Liverpool. That's there was an element of that rotation with Everton last time in the league, was that he felt that some of his squad members sort of deserved that, because playing in a Merseyside derby to him was, a big thing, which it is a big thing. And he felt that some of his players who hadn't perhaps done that or done that recently sort of deserved that experience. So he may well go back to a more experienced regular squad for that. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It's hard to say.
Liverpool did get the extra day off as well from the last game week, so that's going to help as well. So I wouldn't expect mass rotation there. I think 1 or 2 players maybe, but we could see a full strength side go into the new year absolutely smashing the league.
Reading out that list of players, I think we're going to need our benches again. I went 3 deep last time. I went right down to the depths of Dendoncker coming in.
Same for me, actually.
I finally got 11 out because Jimenez came on for a few minutes, so I'm happy that Jimenez is going to play. That's the problem at the moment, isn't it? It's our benches. We've got our benches, but they're rubbish. I know.
Part of that hit was to sort my bench out. Yeah. Kelly and Rico. No, nothing. They've done nothing since I brought him in. And also, the other worry is that I've currently got Lundstram bench because it's Liverpool. But he might be needed, but we don't know if he's going to play yet. I think the news is they're going to give him every chance, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start. So it could be another brutal week for sure.
And Liverpool have got clean sheets coming out their ears this Christmas, which is, we're not used to that. We haven't seen that since last season. So I've got Lundstram on the bench for me, he's a rubbish bench player this week. You never know with Lundstram, but is he going to play? And Liverpool are suddenly quite good defensively, which I guess is going to lead us on to Liverpool and West Ham. So we found out that Game Week 24, Liverpool and West Ham play twice. Obviously, the main focus really is on Liverpool, although we will discuss West Ham a tiny bit. We've had some questions from the community around that.
Yeah, so it's obviously one of the hot topics this week. FP Snooper says Liverpool treble up looks vital. Of course, the question is, who are the best 3 to get? Nick, Liverpool are now keeping clean sheets. It's 4 in a row, I think, now. Very much coincided potentially with the fixtures, but also the fact that Gomez is in now as the centre-back alongside Van Dijk. He's played the last 4. So Nick asks, is double defence the best way to go? Sizzler, is owning Mane and Salah a trap? 2 of the best midfielders in FPL. Is it a trap? But obviously the point is quarter of your budget and the danger of captaining the wrong one. And then FPL Toddler asks, which, if any, West Ham players are you looking at? And could there be a new manager bounce? Obviously, again, since the last Scoutcast, there's another new manager in the league. Moyes is back. We know in the past we've seen him do fairly well defensively with some teams. So West Ham players. What do you think? So I guess the big things are obviously Liverpool, which 3, and West Ham, anything at all? Yeah,
well, Liverpool is going to be 3, obviously. They're the best team in the country, the world at the moment. So I definitely want to get as many of their players as I possibly can. I do believe that Mane, Salah and Alexander-Arnold are the best to have, but it comes with a catch. And that is that in order to have Mane and Salah in, you have got to make sacrifices elsewhere. One of the things I've done okay recently with is having a broad spread of points. So I've got 5, maybe 6 players each week who are scoring me points. I don't want to downgrade them too much. I could downgrade them, in terms of getting a good cheap player, but I don't want to risk. I mean, why would I remove Rashford at the moment, or Jimenez, or Vardy, or even Dele Alli at the moment? But he is a transfer waiting to happen, I think. So. I don't think I'm going to go down that route. I think I'm going to stick with what I've got. I've got Salah, I've got Alexander-Arnold. I need my third one. I think it's going to be Robertson, but it could be Van Dijk. because I think in terms of squad structure for the rest of my 15 and the 11 I want to play each week, I think I'm in danger of actually losing points bizarrely if I get Mane in. But no, that sounds a bit odd. But so I had a look at the last 4 matches they played, and the best one in terms of points is Alexander-Arnold. Now he's the must. He's the must to have. 39 points he's had in his last 4 matches. Next is Salah, 35. And then you're looking at Mane with 29. I do think that Salah and Mane are interchangeable, really. They're both excellent. By saying that, I'm not in any way saying that, Mane's not as good because I've got Salah. They're both brilliant. It just doesn't matter which one you've got. Just have one of them, at least. If you can get 2, great. Robertson, I got 20 points, but Van Dijk got 25 points. He got a 6, a 7, a 6 and 6. Now, in 2... So they've got West Ham and Wolves away. They've got those. I want a sort of possibility of clean sheets, just chipping away, perhaps getting bonus. I kind of want that for that third player.
So interestingly, just sorry to butt in, but because I just looked at this earlier and it kind of coincides with what you're saying.
Yeah.
If you look at points per match, this is for the whole season. Bear in mind we've now had 20 matches, 19 for Liverpool. Robertson and Van Dijk have the same points per match, so the extra money is not as of yet. Obviously, in a single game week over 2 matches, it could. But Robertson's actually not ahead of Van Dijk at all. It's Trent Alexander-Arnold that's 1.1 point per match ahead of both of them by a mile.
Yeah.
But those two, are actually. I didn't expect that. I thought Robertson would be a little bit ahead.
Yeah, it's not. So I'm actually looking at that and thinking. One of the things that made me go for Robertson is I've noticed that it seems to be now. I may be making this up. Some learned people maybe watching and listening to this can let me know. It seems to be that Robertson is more creative when it comes to Mane's goals. So it's a sort of coverage pick there. But I do think what you were saying is right. Van Dijk is on a par there, and I'm going to struggle to get Robertson in as it is, I think. So Van Dijk could be a great solution. So I did look at the last 4 matches in terms of underlying stats. Salah, 18 goal attempts. Next is Firmino with 13, then Mane with 10. So real quantity stuff there, but 15 of Salah's are in the box, which is great. And Mane, 9 of his 10 are in the box as well, also great. They're doing well. Shots on target, now this is be surprising. Actually 8 of Salah's shots on target. He's top for shots on target last 4 matches. Firmino next with 6 and Mane with 4. So, Mane's stats are still good. Salah is still the best one, I think, in terms of underlying stats. But if someone says, I've got Mane, I'm not going to get Salah, I'm not going to say that's bad. Because, just get one. Make sure you got one. Just finally, West Ham. Maybe Fabianski. I've got Foster in. I could swap to Fabianski, possibly. But I like the idea of an attacking punt like Antonio. And I want to have a look at, see what Moyes is doing. And who he's got playing. Last 4 game weeks, goal attempts, Allaire with 9, I don't want him. Antonio with 7, maybe, that's interesting. So Antonio is the one I'm looking at, really. Possibly Snodgrass, 12 corners, 17 crosses. So in terms of creating chances, I think Snodgrass could be the punt. But you see what I mean there? I'm after like a real differential there. I'm not after like it's West Ham, isn't it? But I'm after that kind of just a one-off one, have for a few game weeks. What about you? What about Liverpool, presuming 3, and which 3, and West Ham, any?
Yeah, I think I've got Mane. I really think Mane and Salah is the grass is always going to be greener. You're always going to think the other one is going to score more. And interestingly, although Mane's had less shots and stuff than Salah, his expected goals is the same. He's actually ever so slightly higher. So the quality of the chances is still pretty good. And we saw that last season when we all had Salah and we should have gone on for Mane a bit sooner. He was getting some real good quality chances, even if he wasn't having the volume of shots. So I've got Mane. I'm pretty happy with that. It's very hard not to look at Salah and want him, especially penalties. All he needs is to get a dodgy penalty in each game. It's just easy points. So I'm thinking that double defence or double attack. I really
love the Manchester United fan in you there. Not penalty, dodgy penalty, because it's Liverpool.
Well, I'm just saying dodgy penalty. Same for Rashford. I've said it about Rashford today, so it's all right. I'm not completely biased just yet. But yeah, double attack or double defence is so difficult. I don't want to sit on the fence. But if someone argued either way, I would just agree with them. I think funnily enough, when I've been talking to people, it feels like most people are going double defence. But when I put up a poll earlier, double attack is actually winning. I think it's like 60-40. So it looks like a lot of people going Salah Mane. Now, for me, that involves getting rid of Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, that's not going to happen for me.
So I agree. Right now, there's no way. Right now, there's no way I would do it. But from game week 24, obviously, Man City have Sheffield United away, which is a tricky fixture. Maybe not for them, but it has been for the whole season for a lot of teams. Obviously, Liverpool got the double, so that's better. Then Man City from there play Spurs, Leicester, Arsenal, Man United in the next 5. Whereas Liverpool have got Southampton, Norwich, West Ham, Watford, Bournemouth. So it's not just the double game week that's good, it's also the following fixtures. And I just think, from someone in my rank position, nearly 600k, dropping De Bruyne, I know. I don't even need to look at the chat now to see what the comments are. He's fixture proof. He's the great midfielder. I know that. But I just think the fixtures for Salah Mane just look so good. But then the value at the back is just so good as well. So it's easier for me, and I think for most people, just to get double defence. And also, it does. One of the questions, who was it from? Sizzler is owning it a trap because you're in danger of captaining the wrong one. I'm not really too concerned about that because I just think it's the same as only owning one. You just pick one and stick with it. But I get what it means. You're paying 12 plus million for 2 players and only captaining one. So if you've got Mane, probably that's fine. So I'm probably going to side for double defence because I think it's just easier to get, and it means I don't have to make that De Bruyne decision. But I do think if someone's braver than me, the fixtures do change. Whether he's fixture proof or not, you'd have to think that Man City will score less goals in those games. Not that he necessarily needs to. Obviously, it was only 2-0 yesterday and he got 14 points. But I don't know. I just think if you were going to take a risk, maybe that's the time. But yeah, so that's a long way of saying I'm probably just going Mane plus 2 defenders. And it'll be Robertson and Trent. I think, although for the season, Van Dijk's done really well, I just think Robertson's only created a couple of less chances than Alexander-Arnold over the last 4. And he's got a hole in him as well at some point. So I'll probably go for those 2. For West Ham, I just don't want him really. There's Fabianski. The problem, like, I've got Nick Pope, so this week I'm not going to sell him. It's Villa at home, and then it is some pretty awful fixtures for Burnley. But West Ham's are not that great either side of the double, and the double's not good in itself. It's Liverpool and Leicester. And as for the attackers, I mean, you don't know what Moyes is going to come in and do. I looked at the last 4 game weeks. Like, the highest amount of minutes played is 4 hours at 238 minutes. Anderson at 105. Like, who's going to play under Moyes? You just don't know. The highest expected goals for any West Ham attacker over the last 4 is 0.55. And that's Snodgrass, who you mentioned. Yeah. So there's nothing really that enticing about them right now. And if I look at my team, I don't know who's leaving to get them. Yeah. Like, Maddison's got good fixtures. If I bring in Martial, he's got good fixtures too. De Bruyne, like I just mentioned, and Mane. It's just no way to fit him in. So for me, it'll probably be Fabianski, if anyone, but I may just go Liverpool only, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea. I like double game weeks. I like to, I like to take a risk with one of the players. I don't want to go full on, but yeah. So that's why I'm not dipping my toe into West Ham yet. Let's have a look at see what Moyes is doing, and that's why I'm also not getting my 3rd Liverpool player yet. I don't want to. It's a big commitment. I'm not sure I want to make it now, because it could be that Mane and Salah that they are both needed, and I don't particularly want. But say Alisson gets sent off again or somthing.
Exactly. Or Gomez gets injured or whatever it might be.
Yeah, we just don't know what's going to happen.
The another annoying thing is as well for people that, well, we're all having to start planning for it now. Like, for me, the move I'm making this week is based on which Liverpool players I want. It's a bit annoying to have to do it this early, because that's Sheffield United. It's Spurs and Man United, so it's not even like they've got super easy fixtures before the double. So yeah, I kind of get what you mean. Probably what I'm going to do, 1 or 2, and then get the last one maybe before game week 24.
I think for people in our position who are obviously looking ahead to Liverpool, they're looking to get 3, looking to see how their team's shaping up. I think the best advice would be to try and make a move that frees up some money, or to save a transfer and try and get 2. So my aim really is to not make a transfer this week, not make 2 next week, make 1, and then always have that 2 going. So I've got that 2 for that flexibility to go into game week 24 and make that decision then, or even game week 23, just a bit further down the line. Because it'd be annoying if I completely restructured my team and then find out, I don't know, Mane gets a hamstring injury or something like that, and it would just be so annoying and frustrating, obviously for them, but also us as fantasy managers.
Just really quickly before we go on to the next bit, so we've not even mentioned him really.
Yeah.
What about Firmino? Have you got, because some of us, like you said, you're holding Rashford, so am I. That's a pretty easy swap.
It is, and it's a good segue into the next subject really as well, because we're looking at one of the points I'm going to make is around strikers. There's too many choices at the moment, and I could Rashford to Firmino, but then I could do Rashford to Calvert-Lewin or Ings. I could do Rashford to any number of the multitude of good strikers I don't have, and I'm not sure I want to tie up a Firmino who could be, a 2 and a 2, or he could be 2 double-digit scores each of those game weeks.
Interestingly, I saw on Twitter from FPL Physio, he's played, I think, 9 away games, 6 goals, and that's where all his goals, I think, have come from away from home.
Okay,
and they're 2 away games as well.
Okay.
You never know.
Okay, now that is a little nugget of gold, and that would also solve a massive headache, because I can, as you said, for us Rashford owners, that's an easy move. I'm not moving Vardy on, but Rashford to Firmino is a possibility, and so that's keeping my powder dry for that one. But moves on to what we're talking about, best players for the next mini season. So I've already said, revealed a bit of what I'm thinking there. You've got to have 3, so I'm looking at 3 up top, definitely. So what we're looking at is game weeks 22 through to game week 25. So that's going to include the double game week 24. We're all going to want Liverpool, but also 25, because it's sort of like we're in at the moment, the hangover bit. We don't want to just suddenly drop off the edge of a cliff with our teams. We want to better make sure that we can go into game week 25 and have a reasonable side. Luckily, by the chart that's on the screen, got this from the fixture ticker from Fantasy Football Scout, and just sorted by difficulty over that period. West Ham are actually top. So they've got Sheffield United, Everton. They've got that double with Leicester and Liverpool, which is as harsh as a double can get, really. And then they've got Brighton. So game week 25, they've got Brighton. So that makes me think that I don't mind a punt on a West Ham player, because at least I know that they've got a home game against a fellow relegation battler, or potential relegation battler, to be kind to West Ham and Brighton fans. And then you're looking at Bournemouth as well. So, I'm not sure about Bournemouth, but Everton are another team. So, I like to break up these seasons into mini seasons. And here's some questions about them, and then I'll get your views about some of the players people are thinking about. So FPL Physio has quite rightly noted that Everton's upturn in fixtures and form. Everton played Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle and Watford. They are 3rd on the difficulty ticket. They are doing very well there in terms of the fixtures. They've also got a great new manager who loves Calvert-Lewin. So FPL Physio, is Calvert-Lewin a wise option? And if so, which striker makes way? Jeff, is Mbappé from Brighton part of the optimal front 3 for the next few fixtures? So looking at Brighton, pretty nice fixtures as well. Everton, Aston Villa, who everyone wants to play at the moment because they're so awful. Bournemouth and then West Ham. They're pretty good. And we've also had a whole bunch of questions about best mid-price midfielder. Loads and loads there. Lots of people mentioning Maddison. Is Grealish worth keeping? Lots of people don't think he is. If so, who do they move him on for? And so we're looking at those. And FPL Posty also mentions Leicester. Time to invest in Leicester. So we've got Leicester's fixtures: Southampton, Burnley, West Ham, and then Chelsea. So Chelsea is considered difficult, but really, the Chelsea defence against Leicester? And I think we've got a final question. James asked, with Christmas fixtures coming to a close, who are the must-have picks for the next mini-season involving the double game week? So we mentioned a few there. What for you are the teams and the players to target for that mini-season? And I don't know if you've got like an optimal 15 or anything like that.
Not got an optimal 15, no. But I've got some notes for these questions. Like Calvert-Lewin, I feel like this is the season where I'm having to change my opinion on players. So Danny Ings, injury prone, yet he's just scored about 50 goals in the last 20 games. Maybe not so injury prone as we thought. Adama Traore can only run and that's it. Well, actually, he's on 4 goals, 4 assists now, terrorising defences from right wing. So I'm kind of changing my opinion on him. And Calvert-Lewin, I just thought was someone who was going to keep getting talked. I'll get my words out. with potential and never actually show it. And actually, he's looked pretty good. And not only has he got his goals, his stats are good. The manager's talking him up. I don't know how much attention I really pay into that because obviously he's going to do that. He's looking good.
He's gone from a double-barreled name to a double-digit player. That's what he is.
Yeah,
now.
he's double-digit shots. Like he's and the fixtures are there, so I like him. Interestingly, Morpay is someone I like, and Brighton's fixtures are pretty good. But over the last 4, he's only had 3 shots in the box. Now he did get rested for one of the games, but so did Ings. And Ings had 10 in that same time, and Calvert-Lewin I think has had something like 11 or 12 maybe. 11 in the box actually it is. So I quite like Calvert-Lewin. Everton are a good team in general. Obviously, we know they've got good players around them and they've got a new manager as well. So I think that's a good pick. Morpay, I think you're really going for fixtures. The stats aren't backing it up right now. Obviously, they have had a bit of a difficult run. So I think who goes for Calvert-Lewin though? Rashford maybe, but I don't want to get rid of Rashford right now. And Ings is you could go for the fixtures of Calvert-Lewin over the fixtures for Ings, but do you really want to bet on the man that just has 1 shot, 1 goal, 3 bonus points every week? It's a hard sell. So I like Calvert-Lewin, but I don't know who I would take him out for. In terms of the question on Maddison, I've thought about this a lot because I've held him over Christmas. He's basically blanked 4 games in a row. But I think if you look into that a bit more, there's reason to keep him. So the first game was Norwich at home. Fair enough, blanked in that, not good. Then it was Liverpool and City. I held them knowing that he probably wouldn't get anything in those games. And then he got rested, and you can't really hold that against him. Now he's coming in fresh to a really good run of fixtures. He was pretty consistent before that Liverpool City game. I think he had 3 attacking returns in the 2 games, or the 3 games prior to that. He's still on pretty much all set pieces when Chilwell's not taking some of them. Pretty creative, Vardy in front of him. So I think Maddison's still a hold. I see people thinking about buying him. So I think that kind of tells you all you need to know about whether you should keep him or not. And Grealish, I don't know. I don't really like the upcoming fixtures that much. City in 2 away games. And he's it feels like, I've not seen a huge amount of Villa, but from what I've read, it looks like he's having to do a lot of it, which is good for talisman point of view. But at some point, for a team like Villa, it's going to get difficult to keep holding that together yourself. So I think, for example, I would probably go Traore ahead of Grealish right now. I cannot believe I've just said that.
A lot of people, well, he's in our thumbnail picture for this Scoutcast, but for good reasons. A lot of people are getting him in. He's had a rest, so we know he's going to play. And he's in great form, whereas Grealish himself is in good form. So I got Grealish in for this block, this mini-season we're in now. So I'm probably going to keep him. He's on my goals imminent table as well. Villa, the fixture's not too bad for him this time. It's Burnley this time around. But what I quite like about Grealish is that no matter how completely pants Villa are, he's got me 2 returns out of 3 game weeks so far. And so he just blanked last week. There we go. So if Villa lose 3-1, Grealish scores, brilliant. And then I've saved myself a transfer for the following week. I am looking at the fixture ticker down there looking for Villa, just scrolling down for Villa, and that's right, they're playing City in Game Week 22. So Game Week 22 is a great time to hop off Grealish. I think it's he could get something about City, but I don't care. He's just been and gone for me then. And Traore you mentioned there, I really like the look of them. Sidibe in defence for Everton. I'm a fixtures man, so I do like Everton. I completely agree with you about having to change. See, I thought Sidibe was a sort of rotation risk as well, but I'm having to change my attitude to him. Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, it was a great shout by David last Scoutcast.
Yeah, and Sidibe's doing really well. So I had a look at some stats, and I haven't really got any space for any Everton players at the moment. I sort of wish I did. I wish I was unhappy with more players than Grealish. But so looking at last 4 game weeks, goal attempts, Calvert-Lewin 14, get that. Next nearest, you're looking at Richarlison with 8. So Calvert-Lewin's the one to get at the moment. 11 of Calvert-Lewin's 14 attempts have been in the box. He is shooting very well there, and 6 have been on target, not too bad. Richarlison just 3 on target, but he's had 8 shots and 4 inside the box, so a broader range there. But I think that shows that he's playing much more in midfield rather on the wing. Looking at Sidibe there, 4 goal attempts and 5 chances created. He's 5.3 and he's a defender in an Ancelotti team with great fixtures coming up. So clean sheets these days are something like a bonus. So I'm actually expecting goals and assists from this guy now. I think I haven't got space for Sidibe, but if anyone has, get him. Just get him. You've got.
What I liked about him as well is he got moved to kind of right wing position, like in a 3. Yeah. I think it was 3-4-3.
Yeah, he's out of position.
And I did wonder if when they reverted back to forward back, maybe if Coleman would get his place back, but he didn't. As soon as they went back to forward back, Coleman was out and Sidibe was back to right back. So that was pretty promising for anyone that wants to think about getting him in.
Yeah, definitely. So I've looked at those fixtures. We've just had the fixtures up now. Replaced it with a nice picture of Ancelotti. Doing some kind of greeting. I think it's a greeting to Sidibe, saying, hello, aren't you good? So I've got a sort of an optimal lineup, and that's going to include sort of what I've got at the moment. So I've noticed a lot of people wildcarding finally in Game Week 19-20, and their wildcard squads were like the same as ours, really. And I don't think they were making too many moves. So I'm quite pleased that so far this season I made my wildcard whenever it was, Game Week 5 or 6 or some time, because I wouldn't say it was a waste in Game Week 19-20, but most people were just wildcarding to what everyone else had anyway, so it wasn't a big uplift as much. So here's what I go with. 3 Liverpool, definitely. And I think for structure, it's probably going to be a defensive double up. West Ham, I'm going to leave a Grealish place for a West Ham punt, I think. Antonio, Snodgrass, something like that. That leaves 11 other places. In goal, I've got Foster in. He could become Fabianski. I'm happy with that. I think Ramsdale is still good, but I don't think Bournemouth are going to keep clean sheets, but they do have the fixtures, and I'm sure he'll get some bonus there. 2 Liverpool defenders I've got. So I've got 3 defender slots left. Lundstrom, he's not going anywhere. Rico, not going anywhere. Seaon, not going anywhere. So I haven't really got any spaces available in defence at the moment. If I did, as I said, Sidibe would be the top target. So one is Salah, Mane, or both in midfield. KDB, not going anywhere for me. My West Ham punts, and one of Maddison and Martial. I think I do like Maddison. I don't rule out getting him in, even though I'm late to the Maddison party. And Martial, I've got Rashford, but Man U are in form at the moment, so why not? And up front, Vardy, not going anywhere. Then I think advisable is a sort of 3. So you have 3 up front. Definitely go for a sort of 3-4-3 if you can, I think. And I think get Vardy and 2 of Maupay, Calvert-Lewin, Ings, Jimenez, Rashford. It's a long list already. So that's why I'm thinking about Firmino. Can Firmino compete with those ones for value? But I don't know. I mean,
Firmino's a hard sell, I think, because as much as six, all of his goals coming away from home is a pretty nice fact, and like any player in a given game week can do well. But when you've got him, you look at him thinking, "I wish you were Salah or Mane." Like that's pretty much it. That's why I just don't think I can go for him. Just a couple of other players to mention as well. Obviously, Everton, you got Holgate. So if you did want like a cheap way into their defence, if you want to like replace someone like Rico or Kelly, Holgate's only, I think he's still 4.4. I'm just looking now. Yeah, still 4.4. Aguero back, 8 points against Sheffield United. And the next 4 fixtures, now this is from Game Week 21, not 22. But Everton, Villa, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United again. The obviously only concern there is, does he play all 4 games? They are going to get breaks now in between, so he may come back and play all of them.
That final game in Game Week 25 is against Tottenham, and Tottenham's defence, as we know, is Tottenham's defence. So that's not a bad fixture for Aguero either.
Yeah. And also he could be, especially if you've got 2 free chances, he could be a placeholder to switch to a Liverpool midfield, almost. Obviously not quite the same price, but it's near enough. And then Watford as well. They got some pretty nice-ish fixtures. Bournemouth away, Spurs at home, Villa away, Everton at home. Next 4. And they're on the up as well. They have had some new manager bounce. Seen Deeney, 4 chances created, 11 shots, 9 in the box in the last 4. 3 goals, I think, in the last 3 on penalties as well. 0.8% owned. Little spoiler alert for what's coming later. But yeah, I think Watford looking all right as well. So DFA, I always liked DFA, but he always feels like one of those players that's just going to turn up one week and then not again for another 3 or 4.
He's had a lot of minutes. That's the only thing. Well, look, I don't have space for him, but if I did have space for Delafeu, what puts me off this particular game week is he just doesn't have. He's just played so many minutes that he's on my list of like slightly at risk players. But yeah, can't. I mean, this pretend he's definitely nailed on to play this week. He's a great player. Great player. Troy Deeney, wow. You know, if Watford are going to improve, it's going to be there. So, anyone else you want to mention before we move on to Game Week 21?
No, I think that covered everything I had.
Okay, well, let's look at Game Week 21. So that's the one we're interested in. So we think rotation is going to hit again. Hopefully we've solved everyone's problems and told everyone who's going to start, who's not. But your turn for a differential. So you picked Lacazette last time, and we must say that it was slight mistake there because you were picking Lacazette for 1 week.
He just doesn't play anymore.
He doesn't play anymore. It was for 1 week instead of 4 weeks. So these picks are for the next 4 weeks. I picked Guita, who I've nicely ruined. I think it's 3 blanks out of 4 so far. Nicely done, me. David spared our blushes a bit with Antonio last week, player I'm looking at as well. So I think he's on to a winner with that differential, and I think he could be a differential for a further 4 weeks as well. So who is your under 5% differential gem that we should be looking at for the next 4 game weeks?
Spoiler alert, it's Troy Deeney.
That's why it's Troy Deeney.
Yeah, that's why I had the notes there. 0.8%. It's proper differential, I think. 0.8%. Now, granted, he has scored 3 in the last 3, so it's not like he's a complete under the radar pick. But yeah, 0.8%. 3 goals in the last 3 against Man United, Sheffield United, and Villa. Not bad. All 2 of them came against Villa. Like I said, on penalties, which is nice. Probably not someone I would expect to be rotated, no matter how many minutes he's played. And like I said, 4 chances created, 11 shots, 9 of them in the box is pretty good. One thing this is all telling me from kind of all the discussions, and kind of in the last couple of Scoutcasts as well, is there are a lot of cheap strikers that are doing well, and having a spot that you can rotate or two looks pretty good. Like we've mentioned them all: Ings, Calvert-Lewin, Morpay, Deeney, Defoe. They're all cheap. Jimenez isn't that much more expensive either. So yeah, there's a lot of options up front. So I'm pretty happy with 3-4-3. But Deeney, he's got to be better than Lacazette. Seriously.
Yeah, no, I think he's really good for this bit, for the differential, because that's what we're after. It's one of the reasons I got Foster in, really low owned. It turns out he's in fact got the highest points total of any goalkeeper. I didn't even know that when I got him in. And Deeney, I'm not going to say he's going to become the highest points total striker, but I think he's got the fixtures. So looking at Watford's next 4, not from game week 21. So we're looking at this mini season as well. So from game week 22, you're looking at Bournemouth, Tottenham, Villa, Everton. Everton might be tricky for him, but other than that, you're looking at 3 out of 4 quite dodgy defences. And Troy Deeney is a very experienced striker. He can score against anyone in theory, but yeah, I think it's a good pick. I like that. Let's have a look at the next bit, which is about clean sheets we're looking at as well. So here we look a bit further ahead because you don't want to be making a goalkeeper or defender transfer every 4 weeks or so. You want to do that a bit longer, really. So we're looking at clean sheets over the next 6. So who are the best options there for defensive and goalkeeper moves in terms of clean sheets?
They are. I'm going to be honest. Have you got it up there?
Yeah.
Have you got it?
Yeah.
Go on. Do you want to?
Well, I'll go through this one. Yeah. So
go on.
Top is Bournemouth, who, as we know, are absolutely awful in terms of defence and everything. They can't even score at the moment. So they got Watford, Norwich, Brighton, Villa, Sheffield United, Burnley. They've got to be getting something out of there. Rico's got to get something.
Yeah, I've got Rico. I think for the cheap goalkeepers, Ramsdale might be okay with these. But Bournemouth are in trouble. They really are.
I think this could be the season that it's just sort of coming to an end. Their adventure in the top flight. So Ramsdale, I still think it's a good pick for at the moment. But yeah, it's the form. Arsenal, if Arteta can get something out of them, the likes of Aubameyang up top, but more likely in defence as well. Perhaps some of their defensive assets, if we can find out who's actually going to play in defence. But they got Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, Chelsea, Burnley, Newcastle and Everton. Some good clean sheet prospects there. Liverpool, as we know, we've spoken about them in length. They've got that double game week as well. The defence is turning a corner. They've got Tottenham, Manchester United, but they've got Wolves, West Ham, Southampton, Norwich and West Ham again. Brighton are up there as well. Dunk, and Ryan, I think, are really good options. If people are looking at either of those two, I think great stuff. So we had no rough with the smooth. Someone got in Webster in, but likes of Webster and Byrne as well. I still think going forward are good options, and they got goals in them. Brighton to play Everton, Villa, Bournemouth, West Ham, Watford, Sheffield United. Everton, we mentioned Sidibe, great option. We think Luca Dean sort of gone off the radar at the moment. Let's see him back playing and see what he can do. Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Watford, Crystal Palace, and then Arsenal. Game week 27. Southampton. Now, I don't know. If you're feeling like a pumped going forward, game week 22 onwards, they got Leicester, that's bad. But then they got Wolves, that's bad as well. But then Crystal Palace, Liverpool bad, Burnley, Aston Villa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm getting down to like the 6th best team, and already you can tell with Southampton their fixtures are not that great from a defensive point of view, but there's the odd chance there. Man City is still bubbling away there. They've got the likes of Villa, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United over the next 6.
No one to buy. That's the problem with Man City. I looked at their fixtures, but like even Ottomani didn't. I think he missed the last game.
Yeah, just not interested.
After people blame him. So, it's frustrating.
And it's worth mentioning West Ham. I think both you and I had mentioned that if we were ever to get a West Ham defender or goalkeeper, it'd be Fabianski, or bust really. I'm not interested in any others, but you never know. We've got some time to have a look. Let's have a look at our moves, what we're doing and who we're captaining. And you go first. What's your bust team looking like at the moment for Game Week 21?
Yeah, I think like every week, I think it looks all right, and I'm just expecting another red arrow. Yeah, like it's fine. Like I've got to say, I really wish I only had one. Well, I almost wish I only had one free transfer this week because I've got 2. I have to use one because I need to start because Game Week 24 is not that far away now to get 2 more Liverpool players, and so I've kind of earmarked Ali as the one to go. I just think Man United against Arsenal, that's a good fixture for Man United the way they want to play, and then it's Norwich at home. So I'm a bit loath to get rid of Rashford right now, and like I said, I really don't think that Ali is going to miss out. But I think he's my scapegoat for making some money. What I should have done was get Martial in 2 weeks ago and save myself some money. Now I'm thinking about getting Traore instead. I can't. I don't know what it's come to this season where I'm getting Traore instead of Martial.
Have you got any money in the bank at all?
I've got 1 million. So basically, to try and put this really briefly, because I've thought about this so much, if I get Martial in, I've got to take an additional hit to get Trent in. And then I'm basically then saying I have to downgrade Rashford to get the 3rd Liverpool player, which is not necessarily a massive issue. But I'm kind of tying myself into doing that. If I get Traore in for Ali instead, then I have the money straight away to get Trent and Robertson without doing anything else. And then I've got my 3 Liverpool players. I've taken 1 hit this week. I've got both of them in. And they will come in for Aurier and Lundstram. Now, Lundstram is a bit different for me because I didn't get him at 4 million. I got him at 5.
Yeah.
And his next 5 fixtures, 4 of them are top 6 teams. Or maybe it's the next 4 fixtures, 3 of them now, because obviously they played City already. So I might get rid of Lundstram and Aurier. I know Aurier's got an okay fixture this week, but Trent has a better one. Yeah. And then the following week they play each other, so I'd rather have Trent anyway. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Because, I think a goalkeeper move would be good for you because you've got Button and Pope and Burnley's fixtures are bad. But not this week. This is like an oasis.
Exactly.
So last week I got rid of Henderson for Foster, but I kept Pope because I saw this fixture. I wanted to play Pope this week, but this is not the week to make that move. But it would, in terms of your team, the obvious move is probably Fabianski or Foster in for Pope. But yeah, you're right. Looking at Pope against Villa, no way.
Then I'm just delaying getting a Liverpool. Like I kind of want a Liverpool defender this week. Sheffield United. Like I can do Traore in for Ali and just get a Liverpool defender.
Can you get Traore in for Dendoncker?
No, I'd be 0.1 off.
Yeah,
and then that's kind of like delaying. Yeah. That's using an extra transfer down the line. So I kind of want to just get it done and stop worrying about getting these transfers things. So basically, it's going to be Ali out. It's whether I do Martial or Traore. Do I want to? Obviously, if I get Martial, I don't necessarily have to take Rashford out down the line, but someone will have to be downgraded.
It's quite good, isn't it? 'Cause, I've got Jimenez, and a part of the attraction of getting Traore is down the line. I could get rid of Jimenez because this year's Fraser and Wilson is Traore and Jimenez. So it sort of covers you a little bit for those points. But yeah, so you've got tough decision, isn't it? It's an annoying game week to have two transfers.
No, shouldn't say that.
It is
Like,
though.
I may just do Ali to Martial, Lundstrom to Trent, and then I'll have to make up about 0.3 million. So I'll probably just downgrade Kelly or Rico to like Brandon Williams. I know he's probably not going to keep his place, but he just go as bench fodder. So long story short, Ali's going to go, and I don't really like it.
Ali's in the 270-minute club at the moment. If Mourinho was minded to rest him, this could be the fixture. But yeah. I should quickly mention as well, sorry, I know I've been doing my team for ages. Right. No, it's good.
Captaincy, I've got it on Rashford right now. Now, Vardy's the obvious one. Like, there's no point in me sitting here and convincing you to go Vardy because everyone's going to go Vardy. And obviously he's fully rested, so I'm almost talking myself out of it. But I just think Arsenal's a good fixture for Man United. It's a bit of a shame Arteta's now managing because if it was Emery, it'd probably be an easy decision. But Man United have been in form and they're going to be able to play the way they want to play in that game. They're going to be able to counter-attack. Like I said for Salah, all we need for Rashford is a dodgy penalty, and that's easy points to pick up, nick another goal, and suddenly we're into double figures. A lot of it rests on whether Pogba's going to be back, and who knows at this point. But you'd think for Arsenal he'd be playing. But it's tough to go against Vardy because if it doesn't work out, that's going to be a massive rank drop because everyone is going to captain Vardy.
Do you know what happened? So I didn't captain Vardy or KDB, who I own, and as soon as because their effective ownership is over 100%, it means
same for me.
And it's the same. So I can't really cheer if I don't captain Vardy or KDB. I can't necessarily cheer them. So when Lundstrom was, it was leaked on Twitter beforehand that Lundstrom was going to be out. I was like, I don't care. In fact, I was quite pleased. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, John Lundstrom, because it's a null and void place because his ownership's so high, and he's actually captained at the moment as well because people are so drunk on Christmas they're starting to captain him, and so that's why I've been going for. I've captained Rashford over this period, and I'm looking at those types of players, those Liverpool, like Salah, weirdly a differential captain. And I can see what you mean about that.
I actually think Liverpool. I think if you could nail the right Liverpool player, I don't know. You just don't know if they're going to get rested. I'm not sure they're going to, but that is a worry, to be honest, Liverpool players. Sheffield United, I know they conceded 3 to Man United, but generally they don't concede too many goals. Even against Man City, they only conceded 2, and they actually had the better expected goals in the game. Sheffield United, so they were pretty good. It's a tough one.
Well, let's have a look at my one. I don't have. I'm blessed with not having 2 free transfers, so I've just got the one. I'm probably not going to use it. If I did, it would be Grealish out for Traore, who I'm convinced Traore is going to play. I'm not convinced Grealish is, and also Villa are pants, and I want to get rid of Grealish against City the following week anyway. So all of those things in that favour that move, but at the same time, Grealish on the goals imminent table. I don't know if I was going to do that move, but the rest of my team there is I'm fine with really. Pope got against Villa, so if I don't know, I'll be looking at something like a bit of hedging my bets there with Pope against Grealish. I've got seaon I think he's going to play. Rico, I think he's going to play. Alexander-Arnold, I don't know, but he's at home to Sheffield United. Salah, home to Sheffield United. Ali, I'm going to keep and hope. Got De Bruyne, Vardy captaincy because I want to actually get points and ranking boost for my captain this time around. Rashford and Jimenez, and I'm happy with all of them really. I've got Target I'm not happy with, but he's on my bench. Lundstrom I'm keeping. Then Donker, he's just a null and void place really. And Foster of course there. So I think it moves going down the line. Grealish out. I'm looking at maybe Traore, maybe a West Ham midfielder for that role. And if I can get Target up to a Liverpool defender, that's the aim really. I want to stay on target with Target because he needs to become a Liverpool defender. So anything I do, I want to be freeing up some money.
That's a nice upgrade.
It would be a great upgrade. If I could really easily do it now, I'd just do it. But I can't do it now. I have to do it over a number of weeks, I think. But you never know. Just before we go, all the stats we mentioned, all the season ticket stuff's come from the members area of Fantasy Football Scout. You can get monthly and of course annual subscriptions to that. Well worth it. I think both of us, we've been in the membership area for years now, and it's helped us. But we've got 10 top 10k finishes between us, so it's paid off there. We won't mention the times.
God, how many of them are you? That must be 8
no,
you, I think, right?
No. You got about 3 or 4, haven't you? Two. Yeah.
2, but let's not talk about it.
Oh, well. But anyway, we won't mention the bits where we haven't done really well the seasons, but we've done well in some of the seasons. Yeah, it's worth looking at as well. But for now, Andy, we've got. Do you want to just mention some of the videos that are coming up? I think I know of Breakfast Club on New Year's Day because I'm.
Yeah, you decided you were going to get up on New Year's Day. So
yeah, I didn't mind.
Fair play to you.
I'm
will
of an
definitely
age.
be in. I will be in bed when you're doing that, I'd say. There's obviously the Scoutcast gone out, and I think we've got Sam versus Lee tomorrow. And then stuff over basically during the break, there's going to be more stuff. Not exactly sure what it'll be yet, but yeah, it's going to continue. We're not going to just put a block on until the next game.
Yeah, loads of videos, loads of podcasts all over this time. And of course, on the site, loads of articles, all the matches, all covered. Neil and David have been working with all the fantasy football elves to get all of those Christmas presents out to everyone. But it's been good. But for now, Andy, good luck with the game week. May whatever move you make, may Ali not score for you, and may whoever you get in score.
Fingers crossed.
Goodbye all.
Catch you later.